Hello, and welcome to this audiobook presentation of Happiness Today, an inside look at creating happiness every day of your life. Copyright and disclaimer information is available in the ebook version for your review. Our presentation is laid out as follows. There's an introduction, then 10 chapters, and a conclusion. So with that, let's get started with the introduction of Happiness Today. Introduction. Don't worry, be happy. Now, no one sensible can deny that's good advice, but unfortunately for many of us, it can be a difficult request to follow. It shouldn't be, but it is. The world and all its pressures and anxieties appears to be almost designed to keep us from smiling much of the time. We just don't seem able to, despite how much we'd love to. We reach out in all sorts of strange and unusual ways to find happiness, and still, it escapes us. Now, this may sound dark, but don't let it get you down. I'm here to bring you good news. Great news, in fact. If you want to be happy, you've come to the right place. I've spent years pondering the question of why some people are happy despite being in what seems like bad conditions to most of us, looking in from the outside, and why other people who seem to have every advantage in life still are rarely smiling at all. When you take the time to really study how these two sets of people approach life, the answer to the happiness question becomes pretty clear. We can choose to become the masters of our emotions. We can make smart lifestyle and social choices that will almost ensure that we find ourselves happy at the end of the day, no matter what we face. Or we can do the exact opposite. My guess is if you find yourself reading this guide, you're the type of person who's just like me, interested in doing what you can to get the most out of life, to maximize your potential and your enjoyment every day, to crack the happiness code. That's what the purpose of this guide is. I can't wait to share with you what I've learned about this exciting subject. I can almost guarantee if you take the time to not just read what I've written in these pages, but to work with the ideas and methods I'm about to provide you with, your entire outlook on life will change for the better. We're not talking a small change either. We're talking about a huge, revolutionary change. As long as you approach these ideas with a positive attitude and open mind. And most importantly, as long as you are willing to take action with what you will learn. Don't doubt it. When you find yourself happier each and every day, there's no way your quality of life won't skyrocket. And when you find yourself happier each and every day, there's no way your social life won't improve dramatically. In fact, all of your relationships will be reborn. And don't be surprised when your job gets a lot more enjoyable too. You may even find yourself getting raises you never expected. I know I did. Consider this your new handbook in the constant never-ending search for happiness. It won't let you down, as long as you take effort and don't let yourself down. I'm grateful to be alongside you for the start of your journey. I think you're going to exceed both of our wildest expectations. Let's get to it. We don't have any time to waste. Chapter 1. Why are you not happy? It makes very good sense to consider why you aren't happy. After all, it's much easier to cure a problem when you have an understanding of some of its causes and symptoms. Now, it's possible you may have some unique issue that's wrecking your sense of well-being. In that case, some serious self-reflection is in order. But my guess is you will be much more likely to find the root of your unhappiness in the list that follows. These are the things that drag the vast majority of us down, so take a minute to know your enemy. You are a worrier. The world can be roughly split between worriers and warriors. Those who over-worry are, of course, much unhappier. Now, being a warrior, in this sense, has nothing to do with things like violence or the military. It's all about having the courage to face what life has to offer. How much time a day and night do you spend worrying? Don't you think there's much more constructive ways to spend your time? Of course there is. You are a grudge holder. There's times in life when people do things to us that are downright nasty. It's a fact, which we can't escape. What we can escape, however, is how we react to these situations. By holding a grudge, we release a sort of slow poison in our own system that's guaranteed to slowly kill our happiness. Not only does this not affect the person who did us wrong, but it actually damages us on top of whatever wrong we initially experienced, real or imagined. Forgiving and forgetting has been universal spiritual advice for a good reason. It keeps us happy. You play the comparison game. Happiness is not about what you have compared to others, despite what the overwhelming materialistic bias of our culture may tell you. If your neighbor has the latest television, you buying the same television the next day won't ever make you truly happy. Happiness is based on internal factors more than not, and when you play the comparison game, I can guarantee you, you will never come out a winner. You isolate yourself. Loneliness is a terrible feeling. Things seem much more worse and problems much more daunting when you consider and face them alone. If you have the tendency to isolate yourself, this could be a huge part of why you feel unhappy. Humans are social creatures. We need to be around others who we care about and who care about us to be happy. You surround yourself with negative people. Negative people spread unhappiness like a virus. If you look at your inner circle, and it has more than its share of those who never find a good word to say, it's time to make a big change. Not only is their outlook hurting their own happiness, it's hurting yours too. You are unhealthy. Poor diet and lack of exercise creates the perfect environment for unhappiness to take root. Your body is your temple, and when it's treated like a garbage can, it's not a shock that happiness will escape you. Have you ever noticed how much more pleasant fit people tend to be? Now, this list isn't exhaustive, but it should be enough to give you an idea of which area or areas may be causing you the most difficulty. Understanding the problem is our first step to overcoming it. So, don't worry. Happiness is right around the corner. Chapter 2. Learn to love yourself. Before we can really love anyone else with conviction, we need to learn to love ourselves. It's the first step towards achieving happiness, whose importance can't be overstated. Once you learn to love the person looking back at you in the mirror, you're sure to find the rest of our ideas and methods here much less of a struggle to implement. Loving yourself can be thought of as the oil that allows the internal machine of your happiness to run smoothly and efficiently. It's that vital to what we're trying to achieve. Self-image issues can be hard to overcome if you're not familiar with the tried and true techniques that experts have developed to build self-esteem. Put these following things into action, and you may be shocked at how quickly you learn to love yourself. I've seen them work their magic again and again, and there's no reason they won't work for you too. Acknowledge your accomplishments. We can often be our own harshest critics, while in reality, if we'd like to be happier, we should be our very own biggest fan. Stop ignoring your accomplishments, whether in business, your social life, athletics, or beyond. You should even be patting yourself on the back for caring enough about your own self-development to be studying this guide. Give yourself credit. You deserve it. Remember, looks are in the eye of the beholder. Ask many models if they feel like they are beautiful, and they'll tell you a firm no. This is despite their becoming quite wealthy over the fact others find them attractive. This strange paradox is repeated again and again. If you look in the mirror and find yourself thinking that you are less than attractive, remind yourself that many people are sure to disagree. I guarantee it. Be more patient with yourself. Sometimes we make mistakes. When you love someone and they stumble, are you incredibly harsh with them? If you are, you shouldn't be. And when you are learning to love yourself, you shouldn't be harsh with yourself when you hit a bump in the road either. Patience is a virtue. Being more patient with yourself will relieve a huge amount of stress and pressure. Try it and see if you aren't happier almost immediately. Occasionally do something really nice for yourself. You may be picking up on the idea that treating yourself better is a path to learning how to love yourself. That's true as could be. Not only consciously, but perhaps more importantly on a subconscious level. When we've raised our sense of self-worth in our subconscious minds, things really fall into place. Do you ever do anything nice for yourself? Maybe going to a movie or a restaurant you want to check out, or picking up a little extra something to help you with the hobby you love. If you don't do this often, you need to start to. Pick a night a month, say the third Saturday if you need a suggestion, and do something really nice for yourself. When you love yourself, you deserve this type of treatment. So enjoy. Now, these may sound like simple suggestions, but they work. Positive self-change isn't always complicated. Loving yourself and happiness come hand in hand. So give these tips a try and watch and see each day feel better than the last. Chapter 3. Cultivating Gratefulness. The Power of Gratitude. This is one of the rare places where everyone from scientists to self-help coaches to New Age teachers agree. It's an essential part of being happy, and also one of the areas where those who aren't happy are most likely to have neglected. It's also easy to cultivate. If you're having a problem feeling grateful, keep these things in mind. They are sure to help. Start a gratitude journal. Pick up a notebook and keep it next to your bed. Every morning, as soon as you open your eyes, write a few sentences about what you feel grateful for. Be creative. Just before you tuck yourself in for bed, review your morning's notes and write some more about the things that you've experienced throughout the day that you also feel grateful for. Do this for at least 30 days without taking a break. Many choose to continue this exercise way beyond the 30-day mark, since it brings them such a better outlook on life. See what you think. Help the less fortunate. Let's face it, though we may have it tough at times, there's always someone who's doing much worse. A sure way to cultivate gratefulness for our own situation is to lend a hand when we can. This may mean volunteering a day at the homeless shelter, visiting the old age home, or even adopting a rescue cat or dog. There's a real mysterious wonder about acts like these. The universe seems to recognize this type of act and often responds with unexpected rewards. Connect with friends and loved ones. Sometimes we fall into the trap of taking those closest to us for granted. In reality, these are the people who we should show the most appreciation towards. They're the ones who we can turn to when the going gets tough and you need a shoulder to lean on. Make a point of showing your inner circle how important they are and how grateful you are for their support. They deserve it, don't they? Even if they aren't perfect. Remember to say thank you. The simple thank you falls into our short list of magic words and phrases you're learning here in our guide. Saying it often will inspire responses that are sure to set off chain reactions that will lead you to happier experiences. Fewer and fewer people seem to share even basic manners and courtesy with each other. When you show this respect, especially with older people, you create a loop of positive energy that can be rejuvenating. All just from saying thank you with an open smile more? Yes, this is easily verifiable. I've not seen anyone who put this suggestion to the test not found themselves happier in a week's time or less. What may seem like small adjustments to how we act, how we speak, or how we think are really anything but minor. They all add up, and when we get enough of them on our side, the scale will shift in the favor of happiness. After this, don't be shocked when your dream life quickly manifests. Cultivating gratitude is an important part of the equation. I'm grateful you're taking the time to work on it. The results will be amazing. Chapter 4. Changing your mindset. Opt for positivity. We can choose how we frame all our life experiences. And how we choose to frame our experiences sets the stage for our emotional state, which often inspires our next set of experiences. This is the reason people who go about their day with a frown on their face and a terrible attitude end up having bad event after bad event spring up all around them. Their negative mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. They curse themselves and kill their chances of being happy. In many important ways, we create our own reality. Our mindset can be thought of as the scriptwriter or director of our life experiences, and we can choose the plot of our story. When we opt for positivity, what seemed like a sad tale or even a horror movie can become a love story or adventure. Are you ready to change your life's plot by opting for positivity? Great. I thought you would be. These ideas will help. Listen to music and watch movies that lift your mood. When we turn to entertainment as a great effect on how we view the world, dark and depressing music and movies can make it very difficult for us to shift our mindset towards positivity. This only makes sense, doesn't it? Take a look at what you listen to in the car or on your MP3 player. Is this music that makes you smile and think of life's bright possibilities? Or does it have the opposite effect? The same question should be asked about the movies and television shows you watch for entertainment. Making a move to clean these things up can have a tremendous effect on your subconscious mind. Of course, an occasional scary movie won't hurt if that's what you enjoy, but do your best to indulge in music and movies that work with your goal of thinking positive, not against it. Challenge your negative thoughts immediately with positivity. Negative thoughts can and will creep into our minds. It's unavoidable, especially in the beginning when we are just picking up the habit of holding a positive mindset. The trick is not letting them take root. By challenging them immediately with positivity, we can deflate them by having any real influence over us. Whenever you feel yourself thinking negatively, reframe your thoughts and consider the positive side of what's occurring. For this technique to work properly, you must quickly challenge these negative thoughts. The more you delay, the more harm they will do. Make a powerful set of affirmations. We've already explored the power our words holds over our happiness. Now let's go deeper and use this knowledge to help boost our mindset with a daily affirmation. An affirmation is simply a positive statement that you repeat to yourself first thing in the morning and before you go to sleep in the evening. It can also be used whenever you feel stressed out or your thoughts are drifting away from positivity. Now you can write your own, or you can use this famous one, created by one of the original self-help authors in the early 1900s. Each day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. If you choose to write your own, be sure to phrase things that you want and appreciate, not negative things you're trying to avoid. So instead of saying, I'm not fat, you would say, I am fit and healthy. It's a secret to how our minds work that will make your affirmations take hold quicker with more effect. Our minds can be tricky things. The more positive your mindset, the happier you will be. So please, take these suggestions and ideas very seriously. Chapter 5. Get a dream, find purpose. Have you ever struggled to get out of bed? The idea of going to a job that seemed pointless, almost impossible to do? I know I have. Feeling like you are just going through the motions, whether to a job you can't stand or pursuing a degree you aren't passionate about, is a quick route to being consistently unhappy. This explains why many people with millions in the bank are just plain miserable. They aren't passionate about what they're making their money doing. They aren't passionate about their lives. They're existing, moving on autopilot, without a sense of purpose that makes them stir inside. It's easy to make this mistake, and it's one of the ones that takes some effort and courage to break from. Many people may think you are crazy if you decide to quit your job as a stockbroker to become a fitness trainer, or switch your major from business development to creative writing. These same people probably feel like garbage when they drag themselves off to their responsibilities every day. This is partly what motivates them to give such awful advice. I'm going to suggest you do the exact opposite on your quest to achieve happiness. As your friend and guide here, I'm going to challenge you to get a dream and find purpose. When you do, you will put boredom to rest and life will become an adventure. It seems like the older most people become, the more difficult this challenge can be. Some of us even lose such touch with what we truly want and believe. We need time to remember exactly what our dreams were and are. Don't worry, this can be beat with a little honest self-reflection and work. Keep these things in mind. They help. Consider your past experiences. Have you ever taken the time to notice how often adversity gives birth to heroism? From the beloved therapist who experienced abuse themselves as a child, to the personal trainer who was obese, even the dating coach who didn't have his first date until he was 19 years old. The examples are endless. If you're having trouble identifying your purpose, take a look at your past experiences. The answer may be staring you right in the face. Local and world events. Has there been an issue either locally or globally that keeps drawing your attention? Not the latest media news bite, but something that's continuously resonating with you. This could be a sign of where your dream and purpose waits. A close friend was always an animal lover since a child, but ended up in a completely unrelated field where she made a quite large salary doing something that bored her. At first, she donated money to animal shelters. She went on to volunteer time, and eventually she found herself running a shelter herself. She's never been happier, and this is just one example that flashes to mind of dozens I've been exposed to since studying this subject. Don't be afraid to dream big. The bigger your dream, the better. It may take a step-by-step approach to get you where you'd like to be, but it's worth it. Even the wildest sense of purpose can be great to devote yourself to, as long as it's something you feel burning inside. The stories are out there, if you choose to look for them, of people who are living their dream in ways that are unbelievable and astonishing. One secret? If your dream and purpose involves helping others, the universe definitely seems to conspire in your favor. Call it karma, the law of attraction, or something else. Whatever it may be, it's impossible to ignore. Live your dream. Find your purpose. Start today. Chapter 6. Social Butterfly. Be more social. Do you have a fear of social situations? Or even not so much fear, but a sort of social hesitation? If you do, you are far from the only one. In fact, according to an expert study, show the world's number one fear is public speaking, closely followed by the fear of death. With people who tend to be unhappy, social fears seem to manifest even more greatly. This can really wreck our quality of life. Now, contrast these sorts of feelings with the so-called social butterfly. We all know one. Don't they seem much more happier than the introvert? They do, because they are. Being more social is a quick road towards being more happy. Now, I understand, being more social doesn't come easy for many of us. It didn't for me, until I took the time to expand my social skills through hard work and study. Since I took these steps years ago, the positive effects have been felt in every area of my life. These tips can help you experience the same kind of personal revolution. I can tell you from my own experience how powerful they can be. Learn to be approachable. We've discussed the power of a smile earlier in our guide, and the advice holds true here as well. Smile wide and often. It sends the message that you are a friendly and social person. Hardly anyone will try to continue or start a conversation with someone whose face is in a constant scowl. Be sure to be aware of your body language and the image of you it also sends. Whole books have been written on this subject, and if you feel it's an issue you really need to work on, by all means, pick one up. For most of us, simply not folding our arms and standing up straight without a slouch will send enough of a positive vibe to allow social doors to open. Basic advice that's worth its weight in gold. Eye contact. The eyes are said to be the windows of the soul. Making eye contact when you speak to people conveys an unspoken message of confidence and trustworthiness. You will seem much more charismatic through using eye contact alone. Others may not be able to explain why they find you more compelling. This is a technique which uses the subconscious mind to our advantage. This tip alone can be life-changing. Go out more. This may seem like common sense, but the best way to be more social is to go out more often. This is difficult for many of us, unless we actually schedule it, much like gym sessions. When I chose to expand my social scene, I made a point of going out at least 4 nights a week. This was following the advice of a social skills teacher whose work I was studying and applying. Great advice that worked just as he said it would. After doing this for a few months, my social anxiety was gone, and I was happier than ever. Ask questions. One of the secrets of having people enjoy your conversation skills is to listen more and talk less. A simple way of accomplishing this is by asking more questions and actively listening to the answers. This will quickly build comfort and rapport. It will also make having interesting conversations much easier and make your social life much more relaxed and happy. A social life is a happy life. Open up the doors and let people in. You will be glad you did. Chapter 7. Take time to enjoy the simple things in life. One of the perils of living in an always connected world is falling into the trap of thinking that our happiness rests on the latest technological marvel or gadget. That getting more Facebook likes will somehow make us more happy and successful. This is far from true, as anyone who has pursued those things could tell you, if they're being honest. Now, the simple things in life, there's where happiness lies. When you take the time to acknowledge them, you can become almost instantly a more happier and less anxious person. Here's a few of the simple things I'm grateful for every day. Are any of your favorites on the list? Morning coffee. Talk about a great morning companion that never lets you down. Now, some may prefer tea, but the principle is the same. Having that little, harmless boost in the morning is something to be enjoyed and relished. Think about how much less we'd get done without it. A good book. Sitting back and relaxing with a good book in hand is something that thankfully the digital age still hasn't managed to take from us. Novel or nonfiction alike, the effects of reading are to not only make us a bit smarter, but also serve as a sort of meditation. I love a good movie as much as the next person, but reading and happiness come truly hand in hand. A good laugh. Yes, laughter is the best medicine. Each and every day, there's an opportunity to enjoy a good laugh. This is a simple pleasure that even babies get to enjoy. This may be one of the simplest pleasures, but it's also one of the best. When things are tough, find something to laugh about. Can break a downward emotional spiral and have you looking at the bright side of things again. Laugh loud and laugh often. Spending time with a pet. Dogs and cats can both be man's best friend. Did you know there's been studies that spending time playing with a dog or cat has even been shown to lower high blood pressure? If this doesn't prove my point, nothing will. A dog or a cat are an important reminder to the simple pleasures of life and the joys of unconditional love. Give yours an extra treat today. Watching the sunset. It's hard to explain why watching the sunset can bring so many of us peace. Maybe it's a throwback to our days when man and woman lived closer to nature, rather than rushing home to get dinner ready. Why not take a minute to look outside and bask in nature's beauty? It's a simple joy we should all be happy to be able to witness again and again. An uncluttered home. Call me a neat freak, but I love the serenity that comes along with having a neat house or apartment, especially the bedroom. This always inspires a smile and the ability to cool down from life's stresses more effectively. If you surround yourself with chaos, it may be a simple and cost-free way you can free up some energy blockages and experience more happiness every day. Why not give it a try? If you take the time to enjoy the simple things in life, more happiness is the end result. And after all, that's what our guide is all about obtaining, isn't it? Chapter 8. Exercise and nutrition breeds happiness. One of the most important parts of my life is health and fitness. Without any doubt, training and eating well bring me a ton of happiness. Back in the early days of planning this guide, this love for exercise left me wondering if this just a personal hobby of mine or was something deeper occurring. Well, I dug into the topic of exercise, nutrition, and happiness, and the research is really exciting stuff. We could probably devote a whole new guide to it one day. It's so important. There's been a stack of recent studies from some of the top universities in the world that show without a doubt the more we exercise, the happier we'll be. Just as a quick example, Stanford University's research showed that the act of moving around, so running or walking, and some resistance training, almost killed incidents of depression in the students studied. These weren't full force athletes either. The level of athletic performance was irrelevant. Just being physical was enough for them to have happier lives. The rest of studies I've looked at are just as positive. Maybe more importantly, this research is backed up by my own experience, as well as those of the people I know. I'm sure yours confirms it too. So, if we'd like to really achieve happiness, we need to adopt a lifestyle where exercise and nutrition are truly a priority. Keep these things in mind, especially if you've been sedentary for a period of time and need some extra guidance in getting back into shape. Pace yourself. If you're out of shape, start off slow. This makes it much more likely you will be able to stick with your new approach to exercise and fitness. Even walking 30 minutes a day and doing push-ups and crunches while cutting out junk food is a nice beginning. After this, join a gym and get even more serious. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Many people aren't sure how to put together a workout program or diet. This is hardly an obstacle at all, unless you allow it to be one. There's no shortage of good guides on the subject that will tell you all you need to know and do. You could even hire a personal trainer for a few sessions if your finances allow. You are investing in both your health and happiness, so believe me, this is money well spent. Expect sudden benefits. Just through the dopamine boost from regular exercise sessions, you can expect almost instant mental benefits. It may take some time to see the results in the mirror, certainly, but feeling happier will likely hit you right away. Dopamine is the so-called happy chemical, and nothing brings it on like breaking a sweat. More energy will equal more opportunities to be happy. Eating more healthy will give you more sustainable energy. So will keeping your body weight within the healthy range for your height and bone structure. Having more energy will give you more fuel to be happier. This will carry over into all areas of your life: work, school if you are a student, your hobbies, and even your sex life. The more energy you have to devote to these important parts of life, the better they will run and the happier you will be. More focus on nutrition and exercise will reward you again and again, and that's something to be happy about. Your body is your temple. On the path towards a happier lifestyle, make it a friend rather than a foe. Chapter 9. Surround yourself with loved ones and things. A happy life is all about being around people we love and care about. We all have to spend time outside these circles, but being around that annoying coworker or angry teacher who we just can't make a connection with makes the time we spend with loved ones and things even more important. It gives us time to let down our guard, decompress, and just have some plain old-fashioned fun. This is what achieving a happy life is all about. The benefits of surrounding yourself with loved ones are pretty incredible. Parents are happier and live longer. There's no love like between caring parents and children. Now, I'm not suggesting you have children before your time, but did you know parents with good relationships with their children have longer, happier lives? Studies confirm this. Mothers who stay close with their children live an average 10 years longer than women who don't have children. That's a benefit of being around loved ones that's jaw-dropping. The validation that comes with mutual understanding. It's a unique form of happiness to be understood, except in the rarest of circumstances, like love at first sight. This type of mutual understanding can only be found when you are with your loved ones. They know you, and you know them deeply, and your conversations and interactions can go far beyond the surface level. This validates both yourself and your loved ones dynamically, and the end result is a happiness that you will carry with you even when you are apart. Knowing you have people you can count on. Part of achieving happiness is removing as much unnecessary stress and anxiety from your life as possible. One huge cause of negative emotions is uncertainty in times of turmoil. Surrounding yourself with loved ones offers some insulation from this type of pressure that can drain you of both happiness and momentum towards success. Loved ones will do all they can do to help you when you need it. Just knowing they are close can be a huge boost to both happiness and confidence. Access to honest viewpoints. In our circle of loved ones, most of us have at least one person we can count on to be brutally honest when necessary. It may be a brother, sister, cousin, or lifelong friend, but whoever it may be, they can be your most valuable resource. New friends often don't have the courage to be blunt and honest for fear of hurting feelings. This is only natural. This access to an honest, though possibly painful viewpoint may not seem like a source of happiness, but ultimately it is. Living without this type of counsel can be a true challenge. In the long run, you will live a happier life. The longer you have the type of trusting relationship with a loved one that allows even the harshest things to be said, when your best interests are at heart. Keep an open door policy with loved ones. Everyone concerned will be much happier you did. Chapter 10. Accepting life's ups and downs. The truth is, life has a rhythm, and sometimes it flows with us and sometimes against us. No matter how hard we try, this is a fact none of us can escape or be free from. What we can do is learn how to ride out the storm, how to cope with rough waters without allowing ourselves to become unhappy. This is an absolutely achievable goal when we have our heads in the right place and when we are prepared to deal with life how it is rather than how we hope it to be. Let's go over some strategies on how best to accept life's ups and downs and still be happy. Know all things will pass. Whenever you feel like things are going to overwhelm you, making a point to remember that this very thing, like all things will pass, can be your life jacket. And it's true. Think back to when you have faced adversity in the past and successfully overcame it. We've all been in a situation that seemed hopeless and appearing like it would never end, but it did. It's all about having the inner fortitude to carry on, and carry on with a smile. This approach could even make you an inspiration for others close to you. We're all examples for our loved ones when the chips are down. Keep your chin up. Defeatist talk, body language, and thoughts can be the worst enemy of your happiness. You can literally snatch victory out of the jaws of defeat by making the choice to control these factors and make them work for you rather than against you. Keeping your chin up, your shoulders back, and a smile on your face can trick your subconscious into being happy. When you are feeling more positive, you will have more mental and physical resources available to allow you to get out of the tough spot you find yourself in. Athletes know this secret. Now, you do too. When things are great, enjoy it. On the flip side, when things are going your way, make sure you enjoy it. Being in the flow is the time when many of us get our most productive work done in business and in our personal lives. This forward momentum can help carry us through when things don't go quite so smoothly. So celebrate life's ups when they are on you. Charge your happiness batteries for a rainy day. Life is a journey. Don't mistake it for a destination. Living is a verb, something you are doing. Don't think you're stuck when things are down. You aren't. You always have the power to move things in the direction you need them if you keep a positive attitude and your head in the game. Don't be afraid to make plans for when things look up, or to be creative in your choices to try to get yourself out of the situation when things are down. Life is a journey, not a destination. Now, you should be ready to maintain your drive towards happiness whether things are up or down. Get ready to put these ideas into action. Conclusion. Action plan to happiness. Congratulations for making it this far. You're now armed with an A to Z of the best tips, techniques, and ideas to help you achieve happiness. I don't have any doubt at all this could be an important crossroads for you. You have the map. You know the direction you should be headed in. All that's left is taking the brave step of moving down the path. In a few months or less, you could be living a life beyond even your highest expectations. I know it's possible, because not only have I done it, but I've seen dozens of others I've coached do it too. Here's a few final thoughts. Think of it as an action plan to happiness Keep this guide on hand. Now, although you've read our guide, realize that it's almost impossible to retain so much information just in your head. Keep this guide on hand so you can refer to the tips when you need to. Take down notes on each chapter where needed. For most of us, this helps us internalize information much better and have access to it when we need it most. Commit to making a change. Change can be scary and it can be difficult. You likely have habits and routines that are keeping you unhappy. Otherwise, it's very unlikely you would be studying this guide. Commit to doing whatever is necessary to achieve happiness. Write this commitment down and tape it to your bedroom mirror, to your refrigerator, in your bathroom, in your car, or wherever else you will see it often. 85% of people who read a self-help book never lift a finger to change. Don't be one of these people. Choose to be happy and fulfilled instead. Later, you will thank yourself for breaking these self-defeating patterns. Bring a coach on board. Ask a loved one to monitor your progress and to keep you accountable to the program. Knowing someone is cheering you on and holding you accountable for better or worse can make all the difference in the world. This is why those who hire success coaches are so quick to succeed. Now, you don't have to invest this type of money unless you choose to. A loved one can be just as helpful, if not more so. In the future, it's a role you can play for someone you care about too, once you achieve your goal of being happy. Teaching what has helped you is a great way of saying thank you to the universe. Tomorrow may be too late. Start today. Don't fall into the trap of thinking tomorrow or next week or next month is the best time to start working towards achieving happiness. Our guide is set up to be immediately actionable, so there's zero excuse not to start today. This type of heroic action is where real change comes from. It sets the stage for your conscious and subconscious minds to come on board and help you be happy. This may be the most important advice you ever receive. Don't ignore it. Real happiness is achievable. You have the tools. Now, get to work. Good luck, and thanks for listening.